Welcome to the Forbidden Archives. We now uncover a dark secret that the church has hidden away. Friday he died, Sunday he rose. They always skip Saturday. His body was cold, but his spirit was not at rest. During those 3 silent days, Jesus launched a brutal campaign. He plunged straight into the dark underworld. This epic war in the abyss is known as the Harrowing of Hell. It is a hidden truth from Sunday school. Prepare yourselves. We will now open the apocryphal texts. Let us witness the clash between God and death. Jerusalem, year 33. A giant stone seals the cold tomb. The world mourns, thinking it is the absolute end. Blood dries on the wooden cross above. The disciples are scattered in profound fear. The Savior is dead and buried. Inside the dark, silent cavern, the wrapped body lies perfectly still. There is no breath, no heartbeat, no warmth. Friday, he bled and died. Sunday, he will rise in glory. But the church often forgets the mystery of Holy Saturday. While his physical body rested in the grave, his spirit was far from idle. He did not simply sleep in the dark. According to ancient theology, his soul embarked on the most aggressive military campaign in the history of the cosmos. He plunged straight through the Earth's crust. He descended into the terrifying, uncharted territories of the underworld. This vast subterranean prison was known as Sheol or Hades. It was the absolute realm of the dead, ruled by shadows. For thousands of years, every human soul that passed away was brought here. No one ever escaped its iron grip. The first epistle of Peter, chapter 3, verse 19, reveals a shocking truth that many scholars try to ignore. It explicitly states that Jesus went and made a proclamation to the imprisoned spirits. He invaded the ancient jail. He did not go to Sheol to suffer alongside the damned. He descended as a divine warrior on a covert mission. If you discovered that a major part of biblical history was left out of sermons, how would it change your faith? This event is historically known as the Harrowing of Hell. It is a cinematic, epic battle erased from modern pulpits. To understand the magnitude of this cosmic infiltration, we must look at the unbreakable architecture of the afterlife. Sheol was not a single room. It was a massive, terrifying diorama of caverns, abysses, and unbreakable bronze gates. A great chasm divided the realm. On one side burned the wicked. On the other side rested the righteous ancient fathers. This waiting room for the good was called the bosom of Abraham. But it was still a prison, lacking the light of God. Because of original sin, even the greatest prophets were barred from heaven. Their unpaid debts kept them locked away. Down here, time did not move. It was an agonizing eternity of dust, shadows, and desperate, unfulfilled waiting. And the warden of this inescapable facility was Satan himself. He possessed the legal keys to death and the grave. For millennia, the Lord of Darkness reveled in his absolute control. Every human ultimately fell into his dark domain. Satan believed that manipulating the crucifixion was his masterpiece. He thought he had finally destroyed his creator. He sat upon his massive obsidian throne, gloating over his ultimate triumph. His cracked skin pulsed with a toxic red glow. Beside him stood Hades, the horrifying personification of death, a colossal entity made of ash, rock, and thick shadows. Together, they mocked the prophecies. They believed the light of the world was permanently extinguished on a wooden beam. Deep in the cavernous abyss, the patriarchs waited in absolute despair. Adam, the first man, had suffered for thousands of years. Adam's body was frail, covered in centuries of thick dust. His clothes were torn linen, his face deeply lined with guilt. He bore the weight of human mortality. He knew that his ancient mistake in Eden had doomed all his countless descendants. Nearby sat King David, the once glorious ruler of Israel. His royal robes were faded, his bronze crown heavily rusted. David held a broken harp with snapped strings. He could no longer sing the songs of Zion. In this miserable foreign land, millions of righteous souls huddled together in the gloom. They were like translucent gray phantoms seeking a lost hope. The demonic guards patrolled the perimeter with rusted iron spears. They were twisted, gargoyle-like creatures with no eyes. They screeched and mocked the captive prophets. The demons felt entirely secure behind their massive, impenetrable walls. No living man or divine being had ever breached these defenses. The gates of hell were forged to withstand any assault. The Acts of Pilate, a suppressed apocryphal text, records the incredible dialogue that happened next in the underworld. Suddenly, a subtle rhythmic vibration began to shake the cavern walls. The rusty chains of Tartarus started to tremble. A dim, pure white glow appeared in the impenetrable darkness. It was a single drop of light falling into an ocean of ink, but this light did not fade. It grew brighter and more intense by the second, cutting through the thick, toxic atmosphere. Satan's arrogant smirk vanished instantly. He leaned forward on his throne, his glowing amber eyes widening in pure shock. Hades felt a terrifying surge of divine power approaching his gates. The entity of death began to cower and violently shake. Panic erupted among the demonic legions. The guards dropped their weapons and covered their faces in absolute, sheer terror. Hades screamed at the devil. "Who is this possessing such terrifying power? He is destroying the foundations of my realm." Satan realized his fatal miscalculation. By executing Jesus, he had unknowingly smuggled the ultimate weapon into his base. "Lock the bronze doors and slide the heavy iron bars," Hades commanded. "Defend the gates, or we will lose our prisoners." The demons scrambled to reinforce their eternal prison. They pushed massive boulders against the giant, heavy bronze doors, but the darkness could not swallow the approaching light. Jesus was no longer a broken, bleeding man hanging on a cross. He was the conqueror of death, radiating blinding golden rays. His pure white robes billowed violently in a spiritual wind. His eyes blazed with intense holy fire. He strode forward with immense authoritative power that crushed the very stones. Suddenly, a voice like rolling thunder shattered the silence. It echoed violently against the high, dark cavern walls. "Lift up your heads, you gates be lifted up, you ancient doors, that the King of Glory may swiftly come in." Satan trembled uncontrollably and shouted back, "Who is this King of Glory?" He tried to mask his overwhelming panic. The thunderous voice replied, "The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle." The very foundations of hell shook. With a single divine command, the massive bronze gates exploded into glowing fragments. The iron bars snapped like dry twigs. The blinding light of the Creator violently flooded the underworld. The darkness was pushed back with explosive physical force. Demonic guards were thrown across the cavern. They dissolved into smoke, screaming in agony as the holy light burned them. If you were Satan, witnessing your eternal kingdom crumble in seconds, what would your last defensive move possibly be? Jesus stepped over the shattered ruins of the gates. He did not bring a sword. His presence alone was the absolute weapon. The apocryphal records describe Satan being violently thrown to the ground. He was completely stripped of his ancient power. Jesus seized the massive rusted key of death from the devil's desperate grasp. The ultimate symbol of dominion was taken. Radiant, red-hot magical chains manifested and wrapped around Satan's giant body. He writhed and screamed in blazing agony. Hades cowered in the corner, his shadowy form desperately trying to merge with the rock. Death itself was totally paralyzed. The victory was absolute and undeniable. The blood shed on the cross had fully paid the heavy cosmic debt of all mankind. The great legal heist of souls was complete. The contract of sin was officially canceled by the blood of the righteous Lamb. Jesus turned his radiant, loving gaze toward the captive patriarchs. He walked into the bosom of Abraham, illuminating it. He reached out his scarred, glowing hand to Adam. The first man fell to his knees, tears streaming down his wrinkled face. The deep sorrow of Eden was finally washed away. Jesus pulled Adam from the ancient dust, restoring his lost divine grace. King David bowed in profound reverence, tossing aside his rusted crown. The prophets raised their hands toward the bright light. Millions of translucent souls transformed, their gray, dusty shrouds dissolved, replaced by a radiant, pure white luminescence. A massive, joyous procession of spirits followed the conqueror. They marched triumphantly over the shattered gates of hell. The dark prison was emptied of its greatest captives. The glorious gates of paradise were finally thrown wide open for humanity. Satan watched helplessly from the floor, bound in agonizing fire. His greatest victory was actually his most humiliating defeat. But the story of this underworld invasion does not end with a glorious rescue. There is a much darker, terrifying corner. Before ascending to heaven, Jesus walked deeper into the freezing depths of Tartarus. He approached a very different prison. Here lay a group of prisoners who would never be freed. These were the Watchers, the ancient, powerful fallen angels. They were massive, statuesque figures with giant ash-covered wings. They were pinned to the rocks with primordial iron spikes. Jesus did not offer them salvation. He stood before them in absolute silence, proclaiming their eternal and inescapable doom. Why were these specific angels locked away in the deepest, darkest pit? What horrific, unspeakable crime did they commit? It was not just rebellion against God. It was a vile perversion of creation itself that triggered the great global flood. They abandoned their heavenly posts to violently mate with human women. Their actions birthed bloodthirsty, giant monsters. The forbidden archives will open this terrifying chapter. Next, we will explore the dark, censored pages of the Book of Enoch. You will discover the shocking truth about the Nephilim and the corrupted bloodline. The rabbit hole goes much, much deeper. Do you believe Jesus literally invaded hell in those 3 days? Or is this ancient epic story just a powerful symbolic metaphor? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let us debate the true nature of his 3 hidden days in the deep underworld. If you want more forbidden history, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to our channel right now. Welcome to the forbidden